It is Friday, September the 12th, and we are jumping straight into some good news. Interest rates, check it out, 6.27. So with a buy down or anything like that, we can see interest rates starting with a 5. That is amazing news. Now let's jump into this article, 2 key factors that are going to determine when housing costs might return to normal. And you notice it wasn't prices, it was cost. Well, what's the normal housing cost? Well, typically, on average, over the years, it has been about 30% of household income goes towards your mortgage payment, which should be pretty much your largest expense is housing. And so that also is in the line with that. Now, we've seen that rise over the past couple of years with interest rates and demand. So what does that look like for trends? Because the other news stories we've been talking about a lot lately have been, oh my goodness, houses prices are down, all this stuff, but still affordability is a problem. Well, let's take a look at the actual average sales price trend. Now, what we're looking here at is the appreciation trend line. And why do we care about that? Well, typically we're looking for a 4 to 5% year over year appreciation level. Anything higher than that, and if you look backwards and we know the great real estate recession of 2008, you can see how out of whack it was. Then if you look at 2022 going up and we started seeing that massive trajectory of demand, well, the appreciation trend line skyrocketed. What it is that prices and value are not actually down when you look at the trend line overall. What's happening is that prices are not, the value is stabilizing. So prices, once you've paid the fees associated with selling your house and moving, that you didn't have those massive appreciations. So the value is not as high in the trend as it was. So it's less value from the peak. And we need this stabilization for affordability overall. It is good for the housing market to see this market stabilization and the appreciation slow down. It's not a bad thing. They're not making more dirt. So buy dirt, it's always a good investment. Real estate is always good because the high highs and the low lows are always on an upward trend line. So owning real estate is always a good investment. Now, who are our actual buyers in this market? Who are homeowners right now? Well, 55 and plus actually grew in their market share of the housing market from 44.3% in 2008 up to 54% in 2023. So they took about a 10% market share increase. They went out and bought homes over the last 15, 18 years. And what about the 35 to 54-year-olds? That includes me. We have about 34% of the market share. So we see that affordability really impacting those first-time home buyers that are below 35. And we've known that, we've seen that. So that's why the stabilization of the real estate market is a good thing. Now let's jump straight into the Metro Atlanta housing market and let's see where we're at. All right, new listings on the market in the last 7 days, 1,018. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths are the median on those with a median list price of $489,000, $450. Big jump up there. Back on market, we are seeing a lot of homes that aren't in good condition, or if there are any kind of issues, really that fallout rate, buyers are very sensitive to repairs and issues with homes right now, which is fair. Median price on those back on the market, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, list price median $400,000. Price drops. We've seen less price reductions. Interesting, very interesting. We're going to continue to follow this trend line. Price drops 926 in the last 7 days. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Median list price now is $449,900. Of those 926 homes that had price reductions, only 9 went pending. All right. Next, expireds, withdrawns. Those are the ones that took themselves off the market. We saw a much higher price point on those. $464,900 and $493,495 were the median list price on those. So they tested and left the market. Kind of could have predicted that. All right, active under contract, meaning they just went under contract in the last 7 days. Look at that, bigger homes, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, median list price on those, $439,900. Pendings, meaning they're going through the due diligence process and coming out the other side. Median on that is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but list price being $442,700, which is very interesting. Closed, we had 462 homes closed in the Metro Atlanta market in the last 5 days alone. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, median list price of $460,000, and drum roll please. Median sales price is $450,000. So we are looking at a median days on market for those of 31 months. That is not bad at all. And a median sales price to list price of 87.82%. So what that means is the longer something's on the market, the more opportunity there is for buyers to negotiate that. Sellers price aggressively from the front, and your sales price to list price, statistically, multiple offers are still happening. So if you want more information on connecting with the realtor that can make sure that you are getting taken care of with your opportunity, DM me on any platform you're watching this on. Or if you're an agent and you want to master your market and implement this when representing your clients, again, DM me on any of these platforms, and have a great week.